Hello everyone and welcome to episode 6 of the Xbox Community Cast. If you haven't been a part of the discussion before, each week we come together to discuss the latest news and popular topics with you, the community. I'm your host Risky, and joining me as always are Waterloo,
Hey!
and Shopa.
What's up, guys?
Not much, Shopa. What's up with you? How's your week been?
Not too bad. Seemed pretty busy. Started some volleyball up. Gonna play some volleyball throughout the summer. Played some video games, not a lot. I got my Quantum Break done, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. And got to play on my PC as well. How about you, Lou? What are you doing this week?
Well, I have joined the rest of you in the whole Venmo era. So now I have Venmo. So if any of you guys want to Venmo me, that's cool too. Other than that, just been playing a full-time video game job. Over 45 hours worth of video games this week. So I think that's pretty good.
That's not bad.
Pretty impressive for anyone with or without a job, I would say.
I also have a regular full-time job, which I just left and be starting another full-time job.
You're in between jobs, so It's like you could make video gaming your job for...
The perfect time for 50 hours of video games.
I mean, yeah, why not? Risky?
This week, I haven't really done anything besides play video games and work.
That couch has been your best friend.
Work.
I've been working. But what have you been playing since you've had all this time, Waterloo? Why don't you get into what you've been playing this week?
I've been playing a little bit of games here. I've been playing some For Honor, bashing in those skulls still. Gotta love it. Been playing some Quantum Break, shattering through time, and been put around 30 hours of Shadows of Mordor. Don't ask me how I did it when it's usually only like a 15-hour game.
It was like completionist, I think, was 31 hours.
And I definitely did not completionist this game.
Main story plus some side, I think, was 24-ish.
Yeah,
And
so
main story was like
I think I beat it in like
12, 15
like
maybe?
15 hours.
Yeah, so I didn't use fast travel enough, and I always just love cracking in those skulls, and those orcs just beg to be killed.
There was one point when I looked up my time played and my percentage complete, and I had about 10 or 12 hours less than you, but had 1% higher of completion.
Yeah,
So you're definitely doing something wrong.
Yeah, I think I was. I just love killing orcs.
Do you just sit at the menu?
That could have been it. I might have left it on
because I know that happened to me in Quantum Break. I had actual game time was like 14-ish hours, but I had 19 hours in the game because there were a few times where I just left it on the menu and went and like watched TV or something. So
yeah, that could attribute to maybe an hour or two. Hopefully.
That's one thing that's kind of bugs me in games, where like if you're gonna clock my game time.
Just my game time, yeah.
Not or like Destiny was a huge one because we
going
have
through
X amount of time, but like sitting in orbit just waiting for people, or like hey, I'm gonna grab dinner, I'm gonna leave myself in orbit, and then you don't come back for an hour or two. Like it's counting all that game time. So I think only when you're like doing something, would make sense, especially in games like Quantum Break where you pause and like nothing's happening.
Really
yeah, like there's no way you're playing anything.
Yeah,
Risky boosted to 1,500 hours in Destiny.
Yeah, I would just turn it on, go to orbit, and then I would go to sleep. So I could get like 8 hours a night. So I could be like mastery level 15.
You're gonna get your account banned.
Damn.
Dang nabbit.
All right, that's all you've been playing. Waterloo. Oh, didn't you got the chance to dabble in the Prey demo?
I did. I was playing in the Prey demo. It's pretty fun. I enjoyed it a lot. I didn't want to get too in depth with it, just because I know I'll be putting a lot of time into it once the game actually comes out.
Yeah, that comes out this Friday.
Yep,
so
May 5th.
I downloaded it, and then I was like, I could play this, but I'll be getting it on Friday. So
yeah. I mean, I was kind of just doing it to get the like load of the land.
Lay of the land.
Lay of the land, not load of the land. Get that just visualized for myself, know what's going on, and just kind of messed around with the character. Took different paths that I normally wouldn't do,
so
upgrading them.
How many hours did you get? I know what they say it's about an hour's worth of the game they gave you for the demo. How many hours did you actually play?
I probably put in around an hour and a half or so.
Okay.
And did you come to like a stopping point or a wall where it was like you beat the demo?
A lot of it never actually told me I beat the demo, but you would go to locked doors and it would say the demo does not exceed past this door. For the
so just kind of let you explore.
Yeah, basically the main
type of
part of the main
area.
hall. Yeah. But it was cool there. The mimic. I definitely did get scared a few times. Those mimics.
Was it the mimics?
Yeah.
You couldn't tell them apart when there was
like that.
3 coffee cups in a row, and you're like, nah, they're not mimics.
Yeah, I mean, not only that, it's just you're kind of really so much running through it, not really paying attention because you would just killed a big group of them, and then there'll be one scattered around that you weren't expecting to be there.
One thing I did hear was the music. It gets super up tempo. It's supposed to kind of scare you or whatever, but it was happening way more than it should.
Yeah, the music. I mean, in some parts of it, yes, I do see it happening, but it seemed like every time I opened the door, it was like da 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 da,
and then nothing would happen, and you'd be like, wait, why?
Yeah. What is going on? So I actually thought that was what your guy does when he's scared or in fear. And when you drink alcohol, you can take fear away, basically, or gain courage. I can't remember which it was.
I mean, that makes sense.
So I decided, let's chug some beers and liquors. And all I did was just make myself really drunk and
to just make the screen all wobbly.
Yeah, so I kind of stumbled around for a little bit.
That's pretty funny.
They went back to normal.
You also got into Shadows of Mordor, like I did. If you can hear that high pitched squealing, it's the dog outside of the door. He really wants to come in and podcast with us, but he's not old enough yet, so.
No, we can't play those M-rated games.
Nope. So Shadows of Mordor, you beat it. I beat it. It was both of our gaming goals.
Yep.
So got that out of the way. I wouldn't even say got out of the way. It was enjoyable. I put in half the amount of time as you. I feel like if I doubled up my time, I might have gotten kind of bored.
Yeah. It was good though. I really enjoyed the whole rival system. I thought
the Nemesis system.
Yeah, that was really cool. I like going through that and seeing who's killed me, what's their weaknesses, what are their strengths.
And how'd you like the ending? I think we can talk about this just because this game's
the new game's
3 years old.
Yeah.
So
I like the ending a lot.
Don't worry, I probably won't play it.
It wasn't.
And we weren't worried.
I mean, I knew there was going to be a sequel, but I kind of feel like it was going to end a little differently. But I really like how they're bringing past events and showing who Celebrimbor is and what he actually means to the ring.
Celebrimbor.
He is one of the creators of. He's a creator
the Rings of Power.
Yeah,
he created them with Sauron.
Yep, and he helped them finish the last ring. And
so he's the one who's infused with you the whole game is Celebrimbor.
Yeah.
His family suffered a similar fate to you, and I think that's why you got melded with him. You got chosen because both of your families pretty much died the same way in front of you, and then you were killed. So you meld with him, and then in the end, you're taking down the Hand.
Yep. I'm not sure if it's the right or left, but we killed the Black Hand.
And then you actually fight Sauron. How did you feel about that final fight against Sauron?
I mean, I liked it. I wasn't expecting it, just because it was in the cutscene and everything.
Yeah. So,
but it was really interesting. I like that.
It was a bunch of quick time events. I would have preferred something a little more challenging for him being Sauron and being the biggest bad guy in Mordor.
We're still gonna have to fight Sauron again, though. I'm pretty sure we might have killed him once.
But still, you put 30 hours into a game, then your final boss battle is spam A,
spam B. Yeah, I guess
hit B, spam A again.
I mean, I wasn't that disappointed in it.
No, it was still fun. It was
just because I played 30 hours of it, and one less fight was fine with me.
That's true. We did do a lot of fighting.
Yeah, I thought I definitely agree with it getting as many awards as it did.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right, Shilpa, what did you play this week?
So this week I played Quantum Break, obviously, because it was our goal. I played Overwatch, both on the PC and on my console. Played more on my console. And Heroes of the Storm, which is a PC game, but Blizzard has infused some of the Overwatch characters into it, and they just came out with a new game. So it was a lot of fun. But that's all I really had to play this week.
Will you just let the dog in? He can he can cuddle up under the table or something.
He was just laying there.
Of course he was.
You're not that big.
Welcome to the podcast, Bear. Would you like to say anything? Nope. Just gonna lick all the metal in the room.
And sniff around.
All right, so you got to play Heroes of the Storm, some Overwatch, Quantum Break. We all got to play some Quantum Break because that was our game of the week.
Mm-hmm.
I talked about Mordor. I played that. I played the first few hours of Watch Dogs 2 because that was on sale during the spring sale, and I got that with DanPod for like $12 or something. It follows right after the events of the original Watch Dogs. It's set in San Francisco. You're playing a hacker who's trying to get into the hacking group DedSec. I'm just gonna take the dog out back and bury him.
Bear.
Just kidding. Bury him. Also hopped into Viva Pinata, Troubles in Paradise.
How was that?
Not doing it for anyone.
I mean, you played 6 hours worth of it.
And it was all in one sitting.
Yeah.
Megan went to work, and then I just sat there, started it up, and thought I'd just play a little bit and then leave, but I couldn't stop. It's real addicting.
I mean, I remember playing it back in the day when there was nothing much else to play.
The original
Yeah.
Viva Pinata.
It had some fun aspects to it, but it was kind of repetitive. I mean, it was basically just a pinata version of Stardew Valley. You're raising pinatas instead of plants, and
Raising pinatas to mate pinatas to sell pinatas to send pinatas to parties.
Yeah.
Saying it all makes it sound kind of
Weird.
Awesome.
unusual. Also hopped into Wildlands with DanPod for a little bit. We're now what I would say is 75% of the way done with the game. We've taken down the security, productions, and influent sectors of El Sueño's operations. So now we just have the smuggling ring we have to take down, and then El Sueño's going down.
Are you gonna beat El Sueño before you beat the DLC, or are you gonna try
Before I beat the DLC.
Well, yeah, doing the shadow guy.
Oh, El Invisible.
Yeah.
So Narco Road is that DLC, and that's completely separate. It loads up a completely different save,
Okay.
completely new character.
Oh, really?
So that'll have nothing to do with it. I think they had to do it this way because Narco Road is so different than... it's not tactical at all. It's all spectacle. It's monster trucks, and they took some of the worst parts of the game, which was the driving, and made a lot of it Narco Road. You're going undercover and doing the kind of stupid stuff like that to take down El Invisible.
So eventually, you don't get to be your guy character. You're saying,
right? Yep. So you don't have your loadout.
So everything you worked for is just
yeah. And there's also weapons that you can get in Narco Road that you can't carry them over at all.
Oh, that kind of sucks.
So they're specific just for the DLC. They're spray painted and stuff. A lot of COD skins, from the newer Call of Duty games, that are zebra print and leopard print and just bright colors.
Are in that. Oh.
It's what some of these weapons are.
Yeah.
The monster trucks are painted that way. It's just it's not a Ghost Recon game at all. At least in Wildlands, it might not have been super Ghost Recon, but you could make it Ghost Recon if you know. Play stealthy, and it felt like a Ghost Recon game.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bummer. I'm glad I didn't buy that then.
So yeah, we're pretty far into Wildlands, but the one game we've all been playing, which was our game of the week, Quantum Break.
Quantum Break.
Shopa, what were your thoughts on Quantum Break? Not usually your type of thing.
No, and I'll be honest, early in playing this game, I wasn't a big fan of it. I think it took me a little bit to get used to the movement.
Okay.
I don't play a lot of games that are third person, but you control the camera fully.
It's
and
any third person. Do you not play
I don't play a lot of third persons.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was a little different for me, and the movement felt a little choppy.
Yeah, I think a lot of the gameplay stuff, I might have been looking past it while I was playing it, just because I was intrigued by the story, I guess. But you're definitely right.
Yeah, the story was great. I loved the story.
Things like not being able to hip fire, that was weird. Not being able to shoot behind cover, you could take cover, but you couldn't
Well, you pop back up. The cover was weird because you had no choice but to take cover if you were close to something.
It's
but then when you went to shoot,
I don't know what it's called, but yeah, it locks you into cover.
Yeah.
When you're in a gunfight, yeah, it'll
but
snap
if
you.
your cover isn't tall enough, you still get shot in the head, which was kind of a bummer to me as well.
And
I think they really wanted you to utilize your powers more than trying to take cover in those situations, because you had enough power and enough ability if you timed everything and worked it all out. Trying to evade cover as much as possible. It was doable.
is true, but once you got into the later levels and people were using abilities just like you and or were invulnerable to your abilities, there were some times where you had to take cover for a while to let your cooldowns reset.
Well, yeah, I mean, that is true, but I don't know. I didn't find the covering system that much of a problem for me.
It wasn't a problem. It was just different, I'd say.
Okay.
For me personally.
The gunplay also felt like those weapons, to me, were pretty garbage.
I mean, I pretty much stuck to either the handgun or the sniper rifle. And other than that, I didn't. Or maybe there's a certain auto machine gun that I liked, but
one of the light machine guns.
Yeah, I forgot which one it was.
I wanted to be using the assault rifle 24/7 because I'm an assault rifle guy.
But they were all awful.
Yeah,
and you only got like 110 bullets.
Yeah,
total.
Yeah.
So you kill 3 people and you're out of assault rifle ammo.
So that was right on the D-pad. All those weapons was your assault rifles, your SMGs. Those guns sucked. It was your left hand side that was like the
shotgun,
DMR, the shotgun, the LMG.
Yeah.
Those all felt okay.
And I liked how they gave you infinite ammo on your pistol.
Mm-hmm. No matter which pistol you had, too, which was nice.
Which was kind of nice.
And you had a few options with the pistols, because I know
heavy.
I used heavy. Lou said he used the standard, the stock pistol.
Yep.
I used the heavy as well.
The heavy, I just used that because
one shot to
the head, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you one shot with a normal gun too usually killed them.
It depends on who you're facing.
Well, yeah, if you froze them to one shot, you would usually get them as well.
Probably.
Whenever I froze them, I just unloaded my whole.
Yeah, because that was a fun thing to do.
That was one thing you could actually viably do with the assault rifle. Was throw a time bubble.
Yep, and just unload
it. It freezes time on the bad guy. Fire around or a whole magazine into the bubble, and then all the bullets like explode inside the bubble, and it'll kill him real quick. But it felt so good just unloading a whole clip into it,
or like taking the DMR and just pumping off 10 shots straight into it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. One of my favorite parts actually, when you're racing to through the dry docks.
Mm-hmm.
There's a part right when he opens the gate with Nick, the cab driver.
Some of us, it was Nick the cab driver.
I didn't have Nick the cab driver.
So
I played PR Road.
Oh, I didn't know that was one of those options.
The first junction in the game. Monarch. Okay, let's lay out the game a little bit.
Rewind it. Okay. Let's use that time machine and go back.
So does anyone have a somewhat grasp on the story? Like, what was the first things that happened gameplay wise for us? We went to the university to help Paul Serene, who was one of our good friends from before.
Back in the day. Yeah,
right. He has a time machine. He wants you to help him
activate it
quickly. When you activate it, all hell goes loose, or breaks loose, I would say. And your brother Will Joyce comes out of the time machine.
No, he doesn't come out of the time machine.
He comes from behind you
from
somewhere.
The little
the stutter in time.
Yeah,
there's an escape tunnel that he comes out of.
There's an escape tunnel. Remember?
Oh, does
it's
he?
in the floor.
Okay, that was the very beginning of the game. Whew, over my head. Also, that's when I think MC Shore played for
the beginning of it.
A little bit at the beginning of mine.
Yeah,
so I might have just been watching.
Your brother comes out of nowhere and tries to tell you not to do this, but you wind up doing it anyways.
Because he's seen some stuff.
Because he knows something's fishy. In or out, he doesn't like to make decisions.
So you're trying to do this at the same time. Monarch is coming in to try to shut everything down.
Yeah, which we find out is just Paul Serene, who went back in time from that point.
Went back in time and started Monarch because he had seen that this stutter was going to happen. He saw that he was going to have to create this company that dealt with Cronin Energy, all that, to just make sure that
everything would that the lifeboat would go and happen.
Right. So
what basically is after your brother tells you stop doing it, something goes awry anyways, and you and your brother are trying to get out of there because something happened with Paul Serene and Monarch is coming in and they're shooting everything up. So you're going to go to your car with your brother. But they capture your brother anyways, and what you see happen is you think your brother dies, so you get really pissed off and you get captured, and then Paul Serene has a choice after this incident to kill everybody at the campus that saw stuff, or run a PR campaign
and make it seem like Monarch is this great company.
Yeah, and that
values
the kids went awry at the protest that they were holding.
So Waterloo took the PR route.
Yeah.
He made Monarch look like
the good guys.
Like the good guys, like they hadn't done anything wrong.
Like I feel like would happen in real life.
Of course. And Chopa and I took I think it was
hardline.
Yeah,
the hardline route.
Yeah.
You need to take out the people who are seeing this stuff.
Yeah.
So that's how we ended up with Nick, the cab driver, and you ended up with I don't even know her name because she died so quickly. Nope, Sophia's. I don't think that's Sophia's right. The blonde chick.
There's a blonde chick?
Yeah, she was the chick that was trying to hit on Charlie, wasn't she?
Oh, that was Sophia.
Yeah. Charlie the hacker guy?
Yeah, I don't...
If you haven't played this game, it's a weird decision or weird talk.
Sophia?
Yeah, the blonde chick.
I thought her name was something else.
Fiona?
Fiona. Yeah, it was Fiona.
Shoot. So who's
Sophia? Maybe it was Sophia.
Maybe it could have been Sophia.
Like I said, we wouldn't know because she got shot in the face in my game.
Yeah, I didn't get this. I just have a bad memory.
It was during the live part.
Yeah.
So.
Oh. So Fiona or Sophia?
The girl from the beginning.
The girl
that was on the campus.
Oh. So you remember when you were running outside, you had you were gonna try and save a girl, and Will said leave her be.
Mm-hmm.
That's who Zach's talking about.
No, it's not.
Yeah, that's who Risky's talking about right now. Is the girl you thought about saving, and then in our hardline
he's talking about Beth. Beth never dies in any of them.
He's not talking about Beth.
Yes, he is.
No, because the girls he's talking about you didn't see because of the PR thing. Our PR thing, you saw her. It's the same girl. You're talking about the same girl. In your PR thing, you two work together because they don't kill her. In ours, they put a bullet in the side of her head.
Yeah, I know. I watched them. Every time Zach had a live action one, I watched it.
So we're talking about the same girl. We just don't know her name is. It's not Fiona.
It's not Beth either because Beth.
I know
is
it's not
one. Beth is the one
Beth
that he's
Wilder
talking about.
Is the Monarch agent who's been to the end of the time with Paul Serene, has seen some stuff, goes back in time to warn Will to make the countermeasure to stop the fracture in time, which eventually causes the fracture. Or no, doesn't cause the fracture in time. Does the CFR cause the fracture in time?
No, the CFR does the ground zero.
The CFR is ground zero.
But when that happens, when they drop the CFR, Jack goes forward 6 years to 2016 but Paul and Beth stay
in the past,
and he can see through a vision or whatever. He gets to watch Beth get killed.
Yeah,
right. That's what happened. But as far as
he can still see, so as he's traveled to 2016, he can still see the ghost of what happened in 2010 after he left.
This is a hell of a game to try to explain over a podcast.
Sometimes you have to be there, but so we picked the hard line. We killed a bunch of people
because Monarch wanted to keep it quiet for us, and then Lewis's they wanted to be front facing with the public
and blame it on
Jack Joyce.
This is the girl that you guys had killed in Hardline right there.
Yes.
Yep. With the side
Beth. That he says, I'll be back for you, is a completely different
You're talking
girl.
about the very end of the game, though.
Yeah, but that's what he was talking about.
No. When you're running outside in the first part, that girl is being...
You can talk to her.
Everyone's frozen.
Okay.
It's during a fracture. And she's being attacked, and remember now how he was able to touch Will and unfreeze Will?
Oh, yeah.
He wanted to touch this girl,
her, but since she was so far away from the initial explosion, she wasn't able to be either that undone from time, either that, or he had not fully unlocked his powers yet.
Yeah.
But yes, now I remember what you're talking about.
Same girl.
Because he does the same thing for Beth later on in the show.
Yep.
Okay.
Whew.
So
Act 1 in Episode 1.
Yeah, holy hell.
Only 5 more to go.
So back to what I was talking about to start this whole thing. There's a joke in this that I love. So you open up a gate to get through a part, and it's the first time that Nick, our taxi driver, sees your abilities, and he calls you. He says, "What are you, an X-Men or something?" Because the joke
Shawn
is
Ashmore is Iceman and X-Men.
So that's probably one of my favorite parts of this. Is just that joke.
That's when I need a sound effect.
Made me really happy.
Was mine not good enough?
What was yours?
But I just did it really quietly.
Maybe we can download one.
I like mine better.
And then the only other thing I have about it is some of the running parts just seemed like slow. Like when you're running
because there was no
sprint.
That was the issue.
There was no sprint, but
unless you did the time speed run.
And the speed at which somebody moved with you was the speed at which you ran. But if you're like following Beth through like back alleys, if you're not sprinting, she's not sprinting. If you stop, she stops. But you're still trying to follow her, so you just kind of guess where you're going. Well, you know where you're going, but you run and then like, she runs with you. Just the running and the traveling part was weird for me.
I found the same. That's with most games when you follow people. If you run, they'll start running. If you stop, they stop. And when you're following people, it's weird if
you were in front of her though. I feel like I was never leading anyone.
But I feel like I had to at some points though because she wouldn't run. She wouldn't move unless I was moving.
Maybe you were just always going the right way, so it seemed like it. I
feel like maybe in the AIs I deal with, like, because I've only done like COD campaigns, maybe they just run to where they're supposed to go no matter what you're doing, and then
I think it's just as far as immersion goes, they're just trying to make it feel like if you stopped to look at something, if this was real life, they'd stop with you. They wouldn't like continue the conversation as they're walking 20 yards away from you. So
I guess I
get it. Yeah, the one thing that bugged me a lot about traversal, at least, was like jumping onto things or grabbing things. How hit or miss it was as to what I could actually grab onto. Like sometimes I could grab onto the top of a truck and pull myself up, which is like 8 feet tall, 10 feet tall. He could go up and grab it. Then there's other times that there's like something that's like chest high for him and he couldn't walk up onto it.
He would just get mad and kick it.
Yeah, he would like try to do like a running jump and he'd just kind of like
bounce off of
tap it with his foot. Yeah. So that was kind of annoying. And when you knew where you were supposed to go and I'd try to jump somewhere, sometimes he just like wouldn't grab onto it or he just like you wouldn't hit it perfectly. That was kind of annoying. But obviously it's a linear game. It's a story driven. I don't think they're not looking for you to break the game and hop up onto stuff and end up somewhere you're not supposed to.
Yeah.
But that bugged me. I think it's probably because we've been playing games like Shadows of Mordor where you can walk up whatever you want.
I had problems with that though too, climbing.
I think that was your. That was your bad though.
My 30-hour bad. Yeah. I mean, there's some times where I swear you could climb up it because it had the red cloth behind it, and he would just go back.
That's him trying to jump.
I'll admit, when you go back to Will's warehouse with Beth, like back in time, not as cool Beth,
like crazy psycho Beth.
She was like crazy psycho because
she was traveled to the past and had to be there.
She traveled the past and had to be there for 11 years, waiting for Jack to show up. She wasn't actually.
She already existed in that time, so she couldn't really go out.
Right. So present Beth was her going back in time.
Yeah.
Couldn't see past Beth, which is messed up. I know you guys didn't see this,
but she did see past Beth because she gave past Beth a little booklet.
Did you know that because you were there when I?
No, you find that out no matter what. That present Beth give past Beth a booklet, but you're the one that like read the whole booklet.
Right. So she did go, which she kind of breaks. That kind of breaks their whole like time travel thing because she went back in time to give herself a journal telling her what she had to do. Mm-hmm. But like she wouldn't have known all that stuff. Like she had to learn that initially, I feel like, as a young child. Like who's giving her the book if she didn't grow up, I guess.
So that's the messed up thing about time travel is
there has to be a starting point.
There has to be a starting point.
Where she would have had to have known all of this.
No, there had to have been a point where she didn't have that booklet, where she didn't know anything, and then she goes back in time.
That's the first run of her real life. And then when she goes back in time, she automatically resets
time itself
by doing this book, which is what... There's technically 2 timelines.
Yep.
So there's regular Beth timeline.
Yep.
And then there's Beth with booklet timeline that fixes everything with Jack Joyce.
So original Beth is the one who goes all the way up through Monarch.
So
why did she join Monarch?
I don't think we know that.
She joined Monarch because she was given a book when she was young that told her to join Monarch.
But there had to have been a time where she wasn't given that
exactly,
book.
Where's the time? There's not room for it.
Maybe she's joined Monarch no matter what. Maybe that was part of destiny. That was part of time.
Why would they... It wasn't part of her destiny. It was made her destiny because she gave herself a book.
I think both instances she joined Monarch. I think this time she joined Monarch with
the intention,
book and the intention to get where she needed to be to help Jack.
All right, to each their own.
See, this is where the whole time is a loop thing, and it's never ending.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So once we fuck with the
it's okay. We'll bleep it out.
Once you mess with the fabric of time, there's no going back.
But I will admit, so you go back to his workshop, and you're sitting in there, and you have to run into one of the back rooms, and it's the easiest thing. You just find the little power source, and you rewind it, and his computer's there to unlock the door. I could not. It took me about 25 minutes to find that power source. I was running up and down. I was trying to jump. I was trying to jump up above all his computers to try and drop back down into the room. I was trying everything in my power to try and get into that room. And then I ran back into that. Remembered him saying something about the cord. So I ran back into the room and looked at the cord. And then I got close enough to the wall and it just said press Y.
Press Y.
And I was like, you bastard.
Well, that's how you do it.
That's so annoying because there were so many doors that I wanted to open, and how come I couldn't just hold Y to go back in time until that door was open for every other door in this stupid game?
Because it's a linear game. That's
why. I know. So what was the next choice we had?
I don't remember.
All right.
I mean, we probably should have just had all the choices up on our computer.
Something, yeah.
Because there's those two.
Oh, it was who you were gonna trust. Who was Paul gonna trust?
I thought that was the third one.
Yeah. Oh my god, it was. There was 4 of them.
There were 4 of them. Well, I thought there were only 3. To be honest, here I came into this thinking that there were only 4 acts and 3 episodes. There were actually 5 acts and 4 episodes.
All right, so the first one was this is not the right
versus
page.
PR.
Yep.
The third one was the Doctor or Martin.
Yep. So is
the next one was professional or business. Was if you're going to
or are you going to send
who you're going to send to do that
to interrogate Jack?
Yeah, basically. Is it going to be Paul or is it going to be Martin?
Martin Hatch,
was the first. Was the second choice. I chose personal. I had Paul.
You wanted to go talk to Paul.
Yep.
Okay. And Chopa and I took
business. I had Martin Hatch do the talking.
Which Martin Hatch didn't do much talking.
Nope, but
Martin Hatch walked into the room, gave Jack, who was handcuffed,
keys to the handcuff.
Keys
and
to get out.
And a gun, yeah.
And a gun.
Yeah.
So Hatch was playing Paul Serene.
Yeah.
Hatch was quite a character in this. We'll get to that later.
Hatch was way more of a character than I thought he was going to be when I first met him. I thought he was just going to be kind of like a right-hand guy who was there once in a while, but he really had his own agenda for the whole thing that you didn't really know until the end.
Yeah, for sure.
In mine, Paul talks to him and tries to, explain to him, Jack Joyce what's going on, and basically saying there's no other option but to side with me, so I'm going to leave you handcuffed until you come around.
Okay.
But then Beth Wilder comes in and breaks him out.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't get to watch any of your videos.
Beth Wilder comes and goes to save your guy, but
he's already
you draw a gun.
That was easy. Yeah. So after that, our next choice was.
After that was
who was Paul Serene gonna trust?
Yep.
He was gonna trust Martin Hatch, who was his right hand man, or the doctor, his personal doctor, Doctor. What was her name?
Amaral?
Yep.
Dr. Amaral, who is the one who takes care of Paul. She's the one who gives him his Cronin treatment to make sure he doesn't
go loopy.
His Cronin syndrome doesn't break him down into a shifter.
Yeah.
So we chose...
Have we figured out what Kim is yet? Dr. Kim at that point?
Dr. Kim became a shifter.
Yeah, I was going to say he the Cronin thing must have just got to him.
So, and then when he became a shifter, they locked him in this chamber, so he couldn't escape. Because what shifters are super they're aggressive and they just try to kill you. They exist in stutters in time, where so time stops with the stutter, everything's done. That's where shifters live when they finally give into their Cronin syndrome. You turn into a shifter, and then you're stuck in stutters, and you can go back and forth to them. But they can also come in. they can come into the physical world, I think, because Martin Hatch is a shifter, which we can talk about that later. At least this is my theory. But yeah. So Dr. Kim was a shifter. They contained him, though, as soon as it happened. And then in my story, Hatch blew up.
I think he blows him up in all the stories.
Okay, so in all the stories, he blows up Dr. Kim in the whole laboratory.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't... So I thought that... So when you're running through Monarch, you see a shifter.
You do.
It's Martin Hatch.
That's Martin Hatch?
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was Kim.
No,
I thought that
Kim
was
was
himself.
destroyed.
No, because Martin walked into that room where Kim was, sat down on the chair, which I thought was really strange because he talked for like 2 sentences, and said, "My old friend" or something along these lines.
One
He was
day
like,
you'll
"My
be
old
free."
friend." I thought he said something about today you'll be free.
Well, yeah, but I feel like
free,
the explosion
just
killed Death.
Done,
So
dead.
that's not. I figured
There was
that,
also, it was either something I read or maybe because like I obviously looked online after this game because I wanted to see some people's theories, but I think something is said. I don't know if it's Jack that says something that like he thinks he saw Hatch down the hallway or whatever, because that's when he saw it. He was like at the very end of a hallway.
Yeah, you
And-
walking through glass sliding doors.
Right.
Yeah, I thought that was actually yourself, though, in a different time. Like,
No, you don't hit that shifter level until your Cronin syndrome like takes over you, unless you can control it. And at this point, we never saw Jack take any type of like inject himself with like Cronin anything.
But I feel like it was in the future, so there was a future him in the past bumping into himself.
I don't think
he wouldn't have been aggressive towards himself though.
Shifters are supposed to be aggressive, so why wouldn't it be? If
But that would have been him. Like that timeline is like the present day timeline of him. So if he turned into a shifter eventually, I don't know. Time's weird. Okay, so we chose who we chose, blah blah blah, and then our last choice of the game.
I chose Hatch. They both chose Dr. Amaral.
Yep, that was the third one. But then the last one is
Control
Paul.
or surrender.
Yeah, Paul Serene is the Cronin syndrome is taking over him. He can either give up and just let it consume him, or he can take one final dose
and try to make everything
right.
Final dangerous dose.
Well, it was only dangerous because it was cracked and you didn't know if someone poisoned it or not.
It wasn't like it can. The Cronin that he's intaking himself can only help you for so long, I guess.
Yeah, no, I agree. It wasn't a perfect antidote.
Dose. Yeah.
But that's also broken by Martin Hatch, because Martin Hatch is a shifter the whole game. If you notice the eye drops, he's always putting the eye drops. Like that's his way of
keeping control,
giving himself.
I kind of figured that was something to do with it.
And it's funny because in either timeline, well, I think there's 3 outcomes, or no, just the 2. So he either gets stabbed in the eye by
Burke,
special agent Burke,
Liam Burke,
or he gets shot in the eye by
Emily, Burke's wife.
Right. So it's just funny that he gets stabbed or shot in that eye, and he's always putting the eye drops in that eye.
I didn't even connect those dots. I'll be honest.
So
I also did. You guys find that the eye drops that were laying around in like the beginning of Act 3 or something?
I think I did.
I feel like
what?
Once I found those, I was like, "There's something
Martin's
very
eye drops.
important about eye drops."
So I think that Martin has just been around and has been a shifter so long that he's probably perfected a Cronin like eye drop, and that's why he can be a shifter. He can be in this time. You can't kill him unless you kill shifter him and wherever else he's like living.
Okay.
And that's why if you stay through the credits of this game, even though Hatch is dead, you walk outside of where you're being detained or interviewed, and Hatch is there as the new CEO of Monarch, because Paul Serene, you come in. Well, let's just get to the end of the story. You have a final like showdown with Paul Serene, the big bad guy. You're used to be best friend. He's gone crazy. He's gone to the end of the time, seen everything.
Rogue.
He's come back. He's He's nuts. You in your game did you? Or I'm assuming you like gave him like a sweet karate punch and he went flying. And like his head smashed.
Yeah,
and blood came out.
Yep.
And then you have the CFR, the countermeasure.
Yep.
You put it into the time machine.
You put it, and then you put it into the core.
You put it into the core, and then you start using your.
And then Jack has to use his Cronin energy that he has to put into it to like kickstart it, and then that supposedly
fixes the fracture
in time. And so that's how the story.
That's why Martin wants the end of time. Because if time stops, then Shifter Martin rules the world because he's the only one of his kind.
I don't think so. He doesn't want time to end.
Yes, he does.
Why?
He's the one who always tells Paul not to use the CFR.
That is true. And then he said to Charlie, under my regime, the more powerful, yada, yada, yada. We also gave him the option of going on the lifeboat anyways.
Yeah. So what Paul was trying to use the countermeasure for is to create a lifeboat, which was going to make a safe space for when time finally did stop.
So a bubble, basically.
A bubble, yeah, essentially a time bubble that everybody was stuck in where all of his scientists could work on something to actually stop the fractures completely.
Yeah. But he wasn't planning to be a part of that.
Who wasn't?
Paul Serene.
Was never planning to be a part of that lifeboat.
No, because he already knew. He already went back and he's already seen the past because he knew he had to be at the swimming pool to stop Jack Joyce. Because remember he said once he brought everyone onto the lifeboat, he said, I have other things I have to attend to, so I cannot be with you. And then they cut to him leaving and he's at the pool hall. I mean,
yeah, but even if he was to receive the CFR back from Jack Joyce, he would still have to bring it back to Monarch. He'd still have to put it back into the correct spot it was. It was in the roof, correct?
Yeah, it was on the top.
So he would have still had to put it onto the top, and he still probably could have made it into the lifeboat if he wanted to. But I don't think he wanted to.
Because?
I think that he felt he was a danger to everybody there with his Cronin. Synapse, whatever that's called.
Yeah. I guess I could see that.
He, without knowing that, like, Martin had a cure or whatever, he felt that he was going to go south and had, the option of killing everybody in what he was trying to strive for. So he put everybody he cared for, all of his scientists, everything in that room, and said, I have faith that you're going to fix this. I guess just let him in.
I think he might have to go.
Go to potty.
Go to the bathroom. So, yeah, my theory here is when Paul went to the end of the time, he noted, and it must have been maybe a piece of paperwork that I picked up, that he thought that the end of time was going to occur. Holy hell. I'm going to pause this for a second. Jesus Christ. And let the dog out. Alright, and we're back. The dog is out and happily eating, so hopefully you won't have to hear any more of that. So where were we on our quantum break discussion? Coming to the end here.
Yeah.
Alright, so I just had one last theory that I was trying to get out before I had to take a break. Paul went forward to the end of the time. It was either in a piece of paper I read or something that they had talked about, but it said the end of time was going to be in 2021 was where he was stuck with Beth Wilder at the end of time. That's where they were stuck. We stopped, I put that in quotation marks, the end of time. We stopped the fracture with the countermeasure in 2016. We're heroes, right?
Sure.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You also recall Jack going up to Beth and saying, I'll come back for you.
Yeah, because he went to go do something, and his brother told him, don't touch anybody, don't mess anything up. We have to do it this way.
The butterfly effect.
Yeah. And his brother froze, and he walked up to Beth and was gonna bring her back, but then decided not to, and then he whispered into her ear.
Okay, so here's my thing. They temporarily fixed the fracture in time. Time's still gonna end in 2021. If they made a sequel, which I think that's out of the question now. I think it would have been the journey up until 2021, and the game would have ended that way. I think that Jack does go back in time, like we had talked about, to save Beth. I think he screws up time somehow.
Again.
Maybe again. And there's nothing, like, in my head, if you can't change the past, Paul's been to the end of time and he's seen it. So doesn't that mean there's no way he can stop it?
But no, because now in the timeline, because Paul went forward in time, right?
Yep.
But then he went backwards in time. Now he's dead, so he won't be there in the future for when it actually does go down. So you can't change the past.
But he's stuck in a stutter. He's not stuck in actual real life. Like, that would be him. I don't think he's ever actually in 2021 because he's in a stutter in 2021. Like, he's not in the world, I guess. I don't know.
Well, they say you can't change the past. You can only change the present. And they changed the present by fixing the fracture, thus fixing time.
Okay, so now it's 2021. Paul's already been there.
But Paul's not there anymore, though.
So he changed the past.
No, he doesn't change the past. The past still happened because the past still had Paul
but
going
he died
to the
in the
future.
past in 2016. This is why we shouldn't play games of time travel.
I think that's why we just shouldn't talk about time travel, because you can dive so deep into it.
That's true.
It's like ethics and
so
things like
overall, how did you like the game, Waterloo?
I enjoyed it. Definitely was something different than all those huge open sandboxes.
Yeah, it was nice playing a linear game for once, in my opinion.
Definitely was. I like having a set goal and not being able to get distracted by
18 side quests that you could potentially do instead of your main quest.
I also think that's one of the reasons why I didn't read too much in the game, because I was like, it's linear game. Why bother reading these notes?
Reading is like a side quest for me.
Exactly.
You're supposed to read the notes?
Thank you.
I mean, if I was looking to complete the game 100%, I think right now I'm at like 77% completion or something like that. Then, of course, I'd go back, I'd read all the notes, I'd see all the side things, everything they're talking about. But
that's the thing, is they didn't put that stuff in there for you just, like, for the reason you're picking those notes up just to be so you can say, oh, I hit 100%. They're putting that information, those pieces of the story in there because they want you to be interested in what's going on. Like, did either of you know that Martin Hatch found a time machine sometime in the past before they even made time machines? Like,
I do now.
Martin Hatch isn't on record anywhere in the game in any like public databases before 2001. Martin Hatch has perfected his shifter powers and whatnot because he found in a cave a weird like rupture in time. So he had been time traveling long before they even had time travels. But that was all in notes. That was all stuff you had to read. So I guess I would argue that maybe, because like even me who wanted to read them all still didn't 100% the game because I missed some stuff, which sucks because I wanted to read it all, but it was just stuff that I was spamming that Y button, which is like an eagle-eyed vision or whatever. Like it lets you see bright orange things like, oh, there's something you have to read.
Yeah.
I was spamming that all the time and I missed a few things at least.
I feel like if that was part of the story, it should have been easier to find.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But that's the thing. I think the things that I did see, like the big things like that, were like
easy to find.
You're traveling, it was right by there. Also, there was a screenplay. I know I talked to you about this, that one of the like technicians or something who worked at Monarch.
Did you watch the screenplay? They had
did they actually
had a video and they had I think they didn't act it out, but they had someone reading for it.
No,
and they had like 5 different people's reading like the same thing.
That was for a TV show called Silent Woods or something. It was the TV show that was in Alan Wake. Remedy's first game.
Okay.
So it was people auditioning for the lead role in Alan for the TV show in Alan Wake.
Okay.
It was weird. And also if you looked when you were in Monarch in one of the offices, it had 3 computers. And the center computer, the lady was playing Alan Wake. Like it showed Alan Wake with his flashlight on the screen. It was pretty funny.
That was a good game.
But yeah, I liked it a lot. I thought the FMV, like the movies in between games, I wasn't sure how that was going to be. I initially thought it was going to be kind of like low budgety and be crappy, but like they had good actors. The acting I thought was fine.
Yeah.
Some of the special effects stuff was weird.
It was like a CSI type deal. That's how I felt it. Like CSI acting, CSI graphics, all that stuff.
You know who are the guys with the backpacks that could like shift around in time?
The zippers or whatever. I know who you're talking about.
Like the Monarch bad guys. Those guys looked kind of stupid in the FMV stuff.
Yeah.
They just looked like they were wearing like white t-shirts. Didn't seem like they had like armor. And then like the shifting like motions, like actions that they put in there were kind of weird.
Pretty bad. It was like
they were a little cheesy with like
cheesy.
The orange,
okay, yeah.
Like
the orange squiggles. That's what I was talking about.
through.
It reminded me like the Flash.
Yeah.
Like kind of
moving
so fast that he left like orange squiggles behind
streaks.
him.
Yeah, I mean, it's a way to get past.
And that's not how I thought when I first saw them. It's not how I thought they'd be portrayed either. I thought it was just going to be a countermeasure to Jack Joyce's powers, not their own powers themselves.
Yeah, it's because of their harnesses that they wear or whatever. It allows them to actually go through stutters like Jack. Jack doesn't need to, obviously, because he's been exposed to the Cronin, just like Paul and Beth. But
one question here, Shopa, for you, since you chose the surrender,
the
timeline.
not medicate.
Yeah. In both of ours, Charlie died. He got shot in the back of the head. The hacker
By Hatch.
Did he die in yours?
Nope.
Okay, so
Charlie's alive at the end of your game?
So the end of my game, you walk into the CFR room, and Charlie's there in a suit, one of the anti stutter suits.
Okay.
And so the whole time you're running through Monarch, he's opening doors and stuff for you.
That's where Sophia was letting not Cinderella. Fiona was letting us through the glass doors, opening the glass doors.
So in mine, both Charlie and Fiona go down into the lifeboat.
Yeah.
And then Charlie comes back up.
Charlie leaves in ours as well, but he gets killed by Hatch.
Hatch shoots him in the back of the head in the middle of his like speech.
Yeah, great. And then when Jack Joyce arrives at Monarch, he hears on the walkie-talkie Fiona, and Fiona guides him all the way up to the top.
Okay, so in mine, Charlie opens the doors and guides him all the way up.
Okay.
You find Charlie in that room, and he gives you the CFR, no problem whatsoever. And then as you go to take that back to the pool house, the swimming pool,
yeah,
he goes back down to see Fiona in the lifeboat. So he doesn't die. But in yours does... So in mine... Hatch kills
Burke. Yeah.
So they're all fighting, and Hatch shoots Burke 4 times, and he ends up dying in Emily's arms, and then that's where Emily kills Hatch.
No. Yeah, so like we didn't even see Emily at all.
No, Emily gets brought down to the lifeboat by Paul Serene, and then Jack goes up to the top. I mean, not Jack. Burke goes up to the top to guard the CFR.
Oh, so
and then Charlie comes up there and he's almost backing down Burke, but then Hatch shoots him in the back. Then they fight. Burke stabs him in the eye. He dies.
And then you have to fight Burke to get the CFR.
Which isn't that even a hard of a fight.
And if you think about it, Burke had taken a bullet. He was weak. Yeah. And he was just trying to save his wife.
Who shot him the first time? Who shot the one bullet?
Some random
person.
That was earlier, right?
Yeah, it was like an
so
actor.
In mine, he doesn't... So he must have gotten, like, wrangled in by Hatch or somebody after he got shot, correct? What happened after he got shot by the random guy?
He kills that random guy with a knife.
Yep.
And then he goes to the hospital where his wife is.
Okay. And what happens at the hospital?
He fights some dude.
Who was trying to get Emily.
And then he leaves with Emily.
Yep. And then they start heading back towards Monarch because he knows that that's where the lifeboat is.
Okay. And then when they get back to Monarch, he gives Emily to Paul Serene, who then takes her down to the lifeboat while he defends the EFR. Yep. In mine, they both go down to the EFR together. And that's where they fight Hatch.
Oh, okay.
So in this whole time, Hatch is trying to steal the CFR from Paul. Because in my opinion, he was trying to end time. But as he's going to take the CFR out, Charlie hits the defense button. Which then
closes the...
No, so it looks like there's a flicker in time, and then he disappears.
Who does?
Hatch.
Oh, yeah, he got like disintegrated or something. I read about that. I didn't know what
and then
that actually looked like.
And then Emily and Burke come back down, and everyone's like, yeah, we have the CFR, let's get Jack Joyce here, and then Hatch comes out of nowhere and just shoots Burke.
Because he's crazy like that.
So at that point is when I thought he was some sort of time traveler like Jack or like Paul. I didn't think he was a full shifter, but that's when I knew he had powers at some point, but it still didn't click to me that he was using the eye drops as the Cronin source.
To keep himself, stable.
So then at that point he shoots Burke, Burke dies, and then Emily takes Burke's gun and shoots Hatch in the eye to save Charlie.
Okay.
And then Charlie goes down to the lifeboat with Fiona, and we get the CFR. We didn't fight anybody when we got down to that room. My major fight was I had two of those big giant guys with the
weird robot
eyes. I had two of those, and like in the middle of the room, and it literally took me 30 minutes to beat them. I was just like running behind cover. I would time sprint into a focus time, so you hold left bumper until you're behind them, then you hold left trigger so the time slows down, put a couple of bullets into their back,
and then keep
running. I'd hit B to block all the bullets coming in behind me, and then I would run behind cover again until everything came back up. Because at that point, your bubbles don't affect them.
Yeah. The only thing you can do with those guys is go behind them.
Yeah. So I just kept running around in circles and shooting them in the back, and running around in circles and shooting them in the back, and it took me a pretty long time, to be honest. But that was my battle.
All right.
It's kind of one of those things where I wish like now we go back and like switch. So we pick everything that we didn't
play
pick,
it again a different way,
or maybe just watch the opposite episodes.
Yeah.
Well, they also said if you find more things,
just stop touching him and it'll stop making noise.
I feel like if I pet him, it would be the same.
I'm just trying to play now.
If you find more ruptures and everything, it affects the movie.
Yep.
So the more of the stuff you found, the better the movies were.
Oh, the more collectibles and stuff you picked up?
Yeah.
The more ripples you had to pick up.
The things that gave you powers?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure those were
I was so bad at getting those too. Which probably affected abilities and stuff in the long run.
For sure.
Like I had 3 of those bubbles I could throw at people.
I had 3 sprints I could do.
I had 3 sprints.
I had 2 as well.
So
I had really long vision on my Y thing though.
I didn't really worry about that.
That was my biggest thing. As an FPS guy, I was much more into making sure I knew where everybody was and could shoot them than using my abilities to try and get to them. That was just how my take on how I played Quantum Break. So I think it'd be interesting to go back and look. I know if you look at some of the stuff on the Xbox app on your phone or your computer, it'll give you a comparison between you and your friends who've played similar games. So I could go and look at Risky, and I would be able to see like how many times we use each ability compared to each other's headshots, deaths, all this kind of stuff. So I think that'd be fun to see and look at between everybody. But I think we've talked this to death. Past death.
Put a fork in it. It's cooked.
It sure is. Next week's discussion will definitely be shorter. Our game for next week was chosen and brought to you by Waterloo.
This guy. This week's game will be the first Outlast. It's only a 5-hour game. If you rush it, it's 3 hours. If you leisurely play it, it is 7 hours.
All right, 7 hours it is.
So rushed without a headset and not looking at
but there's
with no volume, with the lights on.
You have to play it with the lights off and your headset on. I really want you to be immersed in this game and get the full experience. But it is a horror game, so why not immerse yourself in it? That's what games are.
Because we don't like horror games, Lou. That's why we don't want to immerse ourselves in them.
Yeah,
I'll play with the lights off. I'll probably play this with MC. So
I mean, that's fine as long as the lights off. You don't need headsets on. But
I don't think.
Can I cheat and play it with Risky and MC?
No, you have to play it by yourself.
Nice, comfortable. I just want to sit on the couch.
Controller has to be in your hand. Put your Xbox in your living room.
Yeah, bring a couch to your controller.
My couch still isn't that comfortable in my living room.
Get a better couch.
Yep. Yeah, I need one of those.
There's the answer. But that will be our game. So definitely going to be a lot shorter because it's not a 10-hour game or longer.
All right.
15.
And with that, let's get to the news. All right, Shopa, what was in the news this week?
Well,
let's get the biggest cat out of the elephant in the room.
The biggest
cat out of the
bag.
Let's let the cat out of the bag. The biggest elephant in the room this week was.
This is a pretty small room to have multiple elephants in.
I think we could
only fit one.
I don't think we could even fit. So this past week, we got the Call of Duty World War II reveal.
Boots on the ground.
Boots on the ground. That was said so many times. It will be said so many times. They came out with a live stream. There's a ton of videos and stuff out. Some of the main things that we figured out through this reveal. The campaign, they've decided to do no health regen or no ammo drops.
Nice. So,
if you're getting shot and you're hurt real bad, you have to find your medic.
So I think that's gonna. I don't know. Do you think they're gonna have a health bar? Or do you think it'll be like the red, bleeding, pulsating Call of Duty screen?
Well, I think bar.
I think it's gonna be just the red pulsating.
I hope it's a health bar. I think if you're in a tough spot and you can't get to a medic quick, if I have to sit there for like 5 minutes with barely being able to see in this red screen pulsating, like sure, that makes it more real, I guess, which is what they're looking for with not having auto health regen, but having that red pulsing your dying screen in my face when I can't get to a medic. I feel like it's gonna bug me.
I think you're going to be a priority when it comes to medics, though. I'm sure
your buddy will be right around the corner.
Now, you said this is only during the campaign, right?
I believe this is only during the campaign. I don't think you can play them. There's no multiplayer. Multiplayer reveal, is E3.
Okay.
So we don't know anything about multiplayer yet, but something like this is going to be really hard to put into multiplayer.
I mean, it wouldn't be hard. It would just make it more of a team-based, you must stick with your squad.
Think of Battlefield 1 right now. Yeah, but you have your classes, like if you need health, you need to find a medic or find somebody who laid down, find a medic who laid down a health pack.
But doesn't your health regen in Battlefield?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think it does. I'm not.
But what is the point of having a medic then?
To reveal yourself right then and there.
Oh, so okay. Well, maybe you do,
but
that's a health bar in Battlefield, which I would prefer at this point.
I couldn't see that though. You're taking your Call of Duty campaign, your Call of Duty game, and you're going back to World War II. You haven't been there in 11 years. They're not going to put something in that's like Battlefield when they're trying to go back to original Call of Duty. They're going to take this and it's going to be your typical Call of Duty multiplayer. Health regen, quick play.
Oh, for multiplayer, sure.
Multiplayer.
I
thought you were talking about.
Yeah, I was just talking about the campaign. I don't think. Well, I guess it did sound like I was talking about multiplayer because I was talking about how you have the medic class or whatever.
Oh, we kind of did get into the whole touching of the multiplayer.
Yeah, I definitely think it'll be like that for the campaign. They've said so. I think, like you said, that they cut that out for the actual multiplayer.
Unless
I think
you're playing like hardcore or whatever insane online.
Yeah,
if they have one of those.
I know Call of Duty does have hardcore modes where it's
where
less
you take
HP,
a bullet to the foot and you die,
and you don't have health regen.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think if they do implement this, it'll be interesting to see. But I feel like what they're gonna do to make it so it's not boring, like you said, or not sitting in a red screen, is I feel like bullet damage is gonna be crazy low. So I feel like if you're running across a field,
I would say
you're going to take 5 or 6 bullets before you even start huffing and puffing and chugging.
That's going to depend on because you're talking about the campaign, so that's all going to depend on your.
I feel like if you set it on easy,
you set it on easy, you can take 20 bullets. You set it on hardcore, you're going to take 2.
Yeah,
I guess that could be true.
No, that will be true. The difficulty setting will always make it so you take a couple bullets and die, as opposed to 100 bullets and live.
it's gonna be really hard to play on difficulty then with no health regen.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
A medic taking 2 bullets and dying behind you, so you can't help yourself.
Well, your CPU friends, I think your AI, they'll somehow dodge all the bullets and get to you. They're not going to kill off your medic, who's a story character, on his way to you.
Well, unless it was like based on real battles, then everyone just dies anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
That's
yeah.
true.
So this campaign, they told us that Red Daniels, what a name! I think his name is Ronald Red Daniels.
Oh, like Red Foreman. So this must be Foreman before he turns into that 70s show. Gotcha. All right.
So there's that. You're in a 12-man platoon called the Bloody First. So what they're doing with this campaign, it looks like, is they're trying to make it so you're super like in touch with your squad mates, with your like platoon members. I feel like the stories within your platoon are gonna be. It's gonna make it so if one of those guys dies during your campaign, you might actually feel something in a Call of Duty game.
Okay.
Which
versus just everybody dying and around you and nobody. You have those 3 people who just don't die no matter what happens. You just everyone.
Well, I feel like you'll still have those 3 people that don't die until like the end, last mission type deal.
Yeah.
But
and they also have 12 people to kill off. So
yeah.
you
and
probably
how many
won't
levels
become to attack.
They...
Well, no, they won't tell you that.
Okay.
No.
But
12 levels, 12 deaths, maybe.
they have 12. There you go.
Probably not.
And yours is saved for the last.
Right?
You're doing something heroic, I bet.
12 angry men, 12 dead platoon members.
So that was the trailer that they actually showed. It's like a minute and a half. That was all campaign stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It looks intense. I think what they're trying to go for with your squad mates and stuff, making it seem a lot more personal, completely was contradicted by the trailer, kind of, because the trailer was completely Call of Duty. Explosions, towers, tanks, planes, people just yelling and screaming. But you got to think, realistically, Red, I think they said he was like 19. He was a draftee, so it's like I doubt he even wants to be there. That's just not what I got out of the trailer, but I know that there's some media outlets that got to actually play. I think it was 2 missions or something, and they
said it was the storming of Normandy and the forest,
which is probably the beginning, and which were 2 of the big major battles of World War II and this game.
Didn't they already do a storming of Normandy?
Every World War II game does D-Day and the storming of Normandy. You're never gonna play a World War II game and not storm Normandy, which I don't know. That's a big part of World War II. You're not going to make a game and leave that out.
Yeah, maybe it should make it from the opposite side.
During this reveal, though, they did show how the dev team went to all these places, looked at everything. They went to weapons experts from the time and actually looked at M1 Garands, got all of their sounds for the weapons, for the tanks. We just throw him outside?
Bear.
Really making this quality bear.
Give him 5 minutes, he'll be whining again.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. It just seems like they're putting a lot of work into this. The director of the game, or the co-founder of Sledgehammer, said that this is the best Call of Duty game that he's ever been a part of, which he's only been a part of 2. He did this in Advanced Warfare, so I guess that's not saying much.
And Advanced Warfare was
the campaign was okay. I barely played the multiplayer. That was one of my least favorite multiplayer-wise ones. Infinite Warfare is multiplayer. I barely touched that either, so...
I think that was the second most multiplayer I've ever played in a Call of Duty game, behind Black Ops 3.
Black Ops 3. Black Ops games are sweet. So
I mean,
hopefully we get Black Ops 4.
I competed in Advanced Warfare, like, nationally. We lost in the round of 64 first games.
I would
but we
put you way out past that, so...
We were in the tournament, so we almost went to it was for the X Games. We were playing in a tournament to get into another tournament to get into the X Games.
So you know a guy who knows a guy whose daughter dates the cousin of the mailman who knows Mark Wahlberg, so you guys are friends.
Yes, exactly.
It's like the same kind of thing.
Exactly.
All right, cool. So they did... The only things in multiplayer that they did show us was that the headquarters or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like it reminds me of like the tower from Destiny, where it's like when you're not playing the game, that's where you go. Although you're not going to be doing like corny dances and stuff like in Destiny, There's no way they're making like a grounded World War II game, and then you're gonna be able to like buy emotes that make you do the Thriller in the middle of a mud pit or something.
That would be pretty cool. Though.
No, oh my god,
wouldn't
horrible.
Thriller?
I wonder what it'd be like.
Well, I don't think the Thriller was something that came out during World War II, so I doubt they'd be doing the Thriller.
Maybe
Thriller.
the Electric Slide.
Slide,
I don't know.
possibly.
I know nothing about dancing, and it's chronological.
So what do
There'll be
you think
swing
this is going to be
dancing.
for then?
What?
What do you think this melting pot of players is going to be for?
So, I mean, the literal quote that this guy said is that headquarters is a place where you can connect, be rewarded, compete, show off, and have fun outside of matches. That's what he said. So, I think as far as showing off, maybe I don't know if you I don't know if you can get different medals. Maybe that would kind of fit with this. Like,
see, showing off to me is like, do you remember in some of the first Call of Duty games when you went into campaigns, you had to do like the room where you had to went in and you shot like
who
the 7
can do this
targets.
the fastest? You have to throw
that's what I
flashbang here.
see. That's
like, well, he also said compete. So it could be like you're doing some drills, like who can do the drills the fastest, and then maybe you'd have a worldwide leaderboard, longest shot, stuff like that. It could be cool. They counted it out. Somebody counted it out. I obviously didn't. They paused the screen, and there was, I think they said 46 people were in the headquarters area.
So
like Destiny, you could do like 16, but this is
64 maybe.
Most
they're typically what, like 8s.
Yeah,
multiples of 8.
So I'm not sure. I think this could be as a hub. Maybe this is where you, if they wanted it to seem super realistic, maybe if you're gonna go do a deathmatch thing, maybe you get into the back of like an APC or a tank or something, and like that's how you get to team deathmatch, right? From headquarters, like, all right, let's go play some team deathmatch. So like the 3 of us are in a lobby. We'll get in the back of a Jeep, and then there's just like a weird loading screen that's us driving into battle.
So in Call of Duty right now, when you sit in a lobby, maybe this is how they're going to do their whole lobby system. So you know how right now you get into a multiplayer lobby, and what happens is you've just got the screen. You have everyone loading in on, say, the right side, and then the left side you can do create a class, banners, call signs, everything like that. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, right.
Maybe this is how they're going to change that. Maybe now, instead of just being on a screen, you're in a tower sort of thing,
so
and you go to this, so you can go to the weapon master, and that's how you change class.
Yes, I think
that's where you
same idea, like where there's a team deathmatch thing on the left. Maybe there's a sign or something above a Jeep or something that says team deathmatch here, and then you like load up and take off.
Did you ever play games in Minecraft where that was a thing?
Games in Minecraft?
So you could get into, when you played like Minecraft, I watched a buddy play, you'd walk up to this board and it would show you all of like the available server games that are up.
Oh, I never played on PC, so no.
So what happens is, say this game can have 24 people. Right now it has like 23. If you click on that game, you can hop into that game as a 24th person, and then it'll load up.
That's how Battlefield's. If you go to like the custom servers in Battlefield, where you can actually, instead of doing a quick match, you can look and see how many people are in here. Like if I have 3 people and there's 3 spots open, you can click into that specific server that's on a specific map, and you can get into it that way. So maybe they'll have something like that. Zombies. Every developer of Call of Duty now, all 3 of them are doing their own iteration of zombies. The guy, his name's slipping my head, the co-founder of Sledgehammer, said that they're tacking it on to the end of the story, kind of. So it's like this was the Nazis' like last resort. It was to create these Nazi zombies and bring everybody back from the dead. So they're gonna you're gonna click the zombie mode, but it's gonna be like it tied into the end of World War II, which is kind of cool. Also, I think that's actually our co-op mode, though. I don't think the campaign is co-op. I had to go back and look at this because I thought
they're gonna do like a Spec Ops thing where you have the campaign that's solo player, but then they had there was one Call of Duty that had like the Spec Ops where you could play with a buddy and you.
And they had like round-based stuff, or they had stuff like that. But no, I think the only co-op you're getting that's what Zombies is, which is kind of disappointing. But at the same time, that's how they've been doing it for a while now.
Also, then the Call of Duty story wouldn't be very cool if your partner had to keep dying. Like if we did a two-person, there can't be two reds.
Like I don't ever want to play a co-op game with you because me having to heal you all the time isn't fun.
I don't doubt it.
But like he does bring
then
up a
you
good
shouldn't
point.
be the medic then.
I am.
They have so they set aside like the three characters, the three like main characters in red, and Josh Duhamel plays the captain, right?
Josh Duhamel.
Whatever you say his last name as. And then there was in the reveal there was a third guy who did all of the acting.
Yeah, they all sat down. So I couldn't tell you at this point.
He brings up a good point. Are you going to have two reds then?
No, you're a 12-man platoon. Just have some of these. If you're going to do 2-player co-op, have one other guy who doesn't have speaking parts. It's 12 people. Have him stay alive the whole story and keep him there. I don't know.
What if he doesn't stay alive the whole story?
Yeah.
Well, if your friend's playing, they're obviously going to build it so he stays alive the whole story. They're not going to be like, all right, well, sorry, Lou, chapter 7, your guy dies. You can't play with me anymore. Well, they're not going to write the story that way. Well, if that's what they were doing. But they're not doing that, and this could be a reason why.
Yeah. That's what I think the reason why is.
So, we got the reveal. We'll figure out multiplayer stuff
at
E3.
I'm excited.
I am too, I think. Yeah.
And I mean, this ties into kind of one of the other thing I was wanting to talk about today, which we might not want to talk about because it might take a long time, but getting into when they're going to come out with Scorpio. Because
let's do this quick. My theory on this, you can get to yours. Sorry, I'm going to cut you off quick, and I'm going to go for it. If you want to sell Scorpio, you need Scorpio to be out before all of these big games hit. The first game to me coming up in Q3 or a little bit before, or Q3, Q4, is going to be Destiny in September. I think that's the biggest game on the horizon. You need to have Scorpio out by that so that people have the choice between go to PlayStation, get your exclusives, or play Destiny on the biggest, baddest, most powerful console. If you try selling people to Scorpio after they've already made their PlayStation decision during the holidays, you're not going to sell as much. And like we've talked about this before, I don't know if here, but like they're ahead of schedule as well on Scorpio.
Yep.
So who knows if there's no reason that this couldn't happen. E3
could be the release.
In a perfect world, I don't think they'll do that because they'll want enough time to get pre-orders in, but it might be like, hey, at the end of this month or like the beginning of next month or something like that, Scorpio's coming out.
Yeah.
It's here. I just think they need to have the console be out before all the big AAA games come out, because if people are having to make these choices, they're going to make them, like the PS4 will be there for the PS4 Pro will be there in September to play Destiny on. And you're not going to wait 3 months.
Beta
and it has the exclusives too. Yep. And so, I don't know. I think Scorpio needs to come out earlier than the end of November when all the games have already come out. People have already bought the PS4 because they want to play these games when they're out, not 3 months later when they can play on the Scorpio. So
yeah, and in that you bring in another talk where if you can sell through your release of, we'll say you sell 1 million Scorpios in August, September, and October, then even if the process of selling a Scorpio and everything dies, you then still have Christmas coming up where all of those sales are going to revamp. If you release in November, who's going to not say, well, I'll get you this for Christmas in a month, but I'm not going to give it to you right now? Why put something so close? That's my other thought is, why put something so close to when you're going to sell consoles? Yeah, you're going to sell them for Christmas.
So that's just weird, because if you're buying that console for Christmas for someone, in my head, you're a parent, correct? Yeah, you're buying it for a kid. You're not buying the Scorpio. It's not geared towards people like us who have our own income, who have been playing.
Yeah, like
the normal person isn't gonna buy the Scorpio. It's not meant for them when they have an option.
I want to agree with that, but I also think that kids these days are stuffy, stuck up their nose, no good, spoiled brats. So you have that 14-year-old kid that's going to sit there, whine, and bash his fist on the ground because he wants to play Call of Duty on the Scorpio.
That was my kid. He ends up locked in a basement. He doesn't get food
that's why
for a few
we
days.
don't let you have kids.
That's true.
But I'm saying, like, if I was 15 at this time like, and Scorpio's coming out,
and I told my parents, hey, I want a at least $500 console. They'd tell me to go get a job,
and
to put it nicely.
I feel like some parents will say that, and I feel like
this is meant for people like us and parents who
have money.
Have an
extremely amount of money.
Because if you have an option that is $300, $250 less, that's putting out perfectly fine 1080p content.
900p.
900, whatever. I don't know. I just hope it comes out.
But we both agree
tomorrow.
August would be fantastic.
Yeah, I think anytime before Destiny, September, and I don't know if Destiny's big. It's not just me because because we put so much time in it. It's a huge game. The player base is still there,
and the player base splitting between PS4 and Xbox is a big deal. And anything you can do to get 4% of the players who are going to play on PS4 to come over to Xbox, that's 4% of a giant base of players playing Destiny who are going to be on the Xbox instead of the PS4.
Yeah. So that's our thoughts on when Scorpio come out. I think, Lou, you agree with one of those or the other, I'm assuming?
I actually don't think it's gonna ever come out. It's just never gonna come out. No, yeah, it's gonna. I feel like the smart decision would be to release it either. Actually, the smartest decision, because if they release it more towards the holidays, it's going to be a bigger sell in general. You spend more money on the holidays anyways, which they could be like, oh, why spend it this? Because you're already going to be spending money on holidays anyways, so they could just wait till towards the holidays, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I guess it's just, for me, it's like this isn't a holiday purchase because the people who buy consoles for the holiday are parents.
Well, yeah, I know.
Who I still don't think this is geared towards.
It's not geared. I think it's just geared towards gamers in general, but more the people that really like the game or that are really in for this quality are going to be going for it more than the average Joe. But I honestly don't foresee it coming out until more, unfortunately, the holidays.
I mean, deep down, I don't think it comes out till like the end of November or December, which sucks.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe honestly, I'm just setting myself up so it's a win-win for me. Like either I'm right or I'm wrong, and I get Scorpio a few months early.
Exactly.
But hell, I'll take that.
I don't know. I have faith when they came out front and said Forza worked on this in a day.
2 days, okay?
In 2 days, Forza running at 4K 1080p 60 FPS.
I'm not arguing that this thing couldn't be shipped out today. Like, I think this thing is probably close enough that we could have this by the end of Q2. But I think they're going to try to place this thing strategically. They're going to put it whatever time of the year they think they're going to make the most money, which, like Lewis said, is generally the holiday.
But
November 17th, that will be the date.
November 17th, he's throwing down the gauntlet.
Very specific.
Right on the date.
What is November 17th?
I think it's just the date.
The release date of the Scorpio.
The Scorpion. In my opinion, I think they're going to get it out earlier.
I hope so.
I think that they've realized, especially the way they talk about E3 and games and everything, maybe they have a huge AAA game that they're planning to come out with, and they're going to kind of, put Scorpio in the same timeline as that game. So you buy Scorpio, you get the game, maybe you get the game version of Scorpio or something like that. There's a lot of AAA games that they're saying they're looking at for E3, but I think at this point they're saying this is for all you guys who are die-hard Xbox guys. I think they see that whenever they put this out, no matter what, there's going to be a specific group of people who are going to get this.
I mean, this is what I was saying earlier, and you were like, no, parents are going to buy it for their kids. Well, no, you're arguing for what I was arguing for. Yes, this is for the diehard gamers who will buy it at any time of the year. I do agree.
That has to be the kids and the parents too. There's not going to be. I agree with you when I said like somebody who
feel like we're stuck in a time loop here.
Isn't gonna. But I think whenever you release this, you get a fine amount of people. You release it, maybe you get a few more. If you go towards Christmas time. But I think
what are they barking at?
I don't know. Who let the dogs out?
Can you please stop yelling?
Hey, quiet, animals.
You guys are really just
This is beautiful.
Good thing Tyler's the only one listening to this. 'Cause there's no way this one's going to be the first one we put out.
Nope.
All right. So those are our thoughts on that. What else was in the news? I put something quick in here. Sniper Ghost Warrior 3 came out. It's your dog, Lewis. Your dog is inciting.
Your dog always starts it.
I don't have a dog.
Sniper Ghost Warrior 3 came out last week. To load into this game, 5-minute load times. How do you feel about waiting 5 minutes to get into your game?
Good thing I have Instagram.
That's not the answer I was looking for.
I would not want to wait 5 minutes to get into a game.
The developers were asked about why it's taking so long to get into their game, and they said, well, we want to get all the loading out of the way ahead of time so there's less loading during the game.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about that?
I mean, yes, but it's that still initial 5 people. I feel like a lot of people play video games because they have ADD.
How would you feel if I told you that they promised multiplayer for this game and then they took that out and it's going to come later sometime?
I mean, I would feel just very sad.
I really just wanted to shit on Ghost Sniper Ghost Warrior 3.
Mixing it all.
What a name. $60 game.
The loadout
5 minutes to load in, no multiplayer.
For GTA were pretty long.
Yeah, that game's real good though.
You've never played this game yet.
I know. Well, I mean, I've watched the game. I watched a little bit of it, and it doesn't look that good either. But the thing that stuck out to me was 5 minutes is a long time. Grand Theft Auto definitely took a long time. It didn't take 5 minutes. That's also a game from, what, 2012? Yeah. It was from the 360, so I don't...
Yeah, true.
And it's huge. I don't know how big this game is, but...
5 minutes worth of load time.
5 minutes worth of load time, big. Jesus.
That's what she said.
Maybe they just thought future and said, you're going to play this on the Scorpio. It's not going to be 5 minute load times?
That must be it. If you don't want 5 minute load times to get into Sniper Ghost Warrior 3, buy the Scorpio. Good work, Microsoft. They didn't make the game. I was just saying that. Lewis, how about you give us our Water Lewis?
How about you
give us our For Honor update for the week?
Patch 1.06 has been released to the servers. On the consoles. There we go. It has seemed to fix all the problems with...
There's not servers on consoles.
I know, servers for the consoles, okay? The servers that the consoles use...
That sounds
has been
better.
released to consoles.
Okay, anyways, but the consoles finally got the patch 1.06.
Hey.
There you go, Shopa. That the PC has been running for a little bit. It's supposed to have fixed the problems with connections and servers and matchmaking. I've played it. Definitely feel like it's fixed it a little bit. I've been getting more even matched and everything. The one thing that...
What are they matching off of, like, your win record or something?
I think win record now, not just...
Which makes the most sense.
Yeah, not just your ranking level.
Because does your level go up no matter what, pretty much? Like, you win or lose a match, you get some XP?
You get less XP now. They've also fixed that less well you do, the less XP you get.
But either way, like,
you get a little XP each
win
time.
Percentage...
Yeah.
Makes more sense for matchmaking.
Is which I think they're matching on now. But one thing they did say they were going to fix, but they never did, is when you're in a match and, say, people leave, it was supposed to fix it so people will join back into your match, or will automatically connect you with other people, and you won't have to go back to the main menu to jump back in. I have yet to see a fix to that. After I played a match, everyone jumped out, and I decided I would wait there to see if it would reload anyone new back in.
So it just doesn't populate once people drop or a game ends.
It's over.
It doesn't and you have to, like, go back to, like, a start screen?
You have to go back to the main menu.
Oh, that's horrible. Can you imagine if that happened in, like, Call of Duty and a game ends and, like, one person leaves and then they don't fill the spot, so everybody gets kicked and you have to go back to, like, to start it up again?
Yeah. Well, I think it used to be...
Yuck.
Like, if you're playing 2v2, if one person leaves, sometimes they might fill it with a bot, but... usually, once one person leaves, another person will leave. If there's two people, they'll just end it.
Okay.
Which is not fun. But definitely seemed like there has been some fix to the matchmaking in the server, so I haven't been getting error 00613035889 banana, whatever.
Banana. That sounds like a Destiny error code.
Yeah, I mean it's something along those lines, but definitely no banana.
Okay.
No banana.
There was a few trailers this week that came out. One for Darksiders 3, which is going to be the third game in the Darksiders series.
Hence the 3.
For this one, you're going to play as Fury, who is the sister of the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. Darksiders 2 was free last month. I don't know.
It was, I think,
maybe
beginning of the month.
Beginning of the month, maybe?
I think so, yeah.
Where you played as War, who was one of the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse.
Yep.
What's happening in the game is that the 7 deadly sins are going to be embodied in some way, and they're going to be just wreaking havoc on Earth. So as Fury, you have to go stop them. And that's really all the trailer showed. Marvel vs. Capcom trailer, I could care less about it, really. I'm not a fighting game guy, but it was a gameplay trailer, showed like the tagging in system, where you could be Hulk and then tag in like Chris Redfield. Yeah, exactly.
That's the only Capcom person that I know they have in.
Yeah,
I know they
Mega
have
Man.
Yeah, he's Capcom. I don't think they have like Jill or.
As far as Resident Evil people go, yeah, he might be it.
Maybe Leon.
So there was a gameplay trailer for that. That was new. Forza Horizon 3 announced the Hot Wheels expansion, which is coming up this May 9th.
Next Tuesday.
Yeah. Okay. Coming up. Is that
on
next
Tuesday? Yes.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
I had to do the count.
I only know that because I have a cardiologist appointment that day.
All right. So what the Hot Wheels expansion? It's exactly what it sounds like. Hot Wheels. When we were kids, we all played with Hot Wheels.
Orange tracks.
Hot
lots
Wheels,
of orange
Matchbox.
tracks. Lots of cars. You're just racing on these giant orange tracks, loop-de-loops, jumps, all that stuff. So, this is strange for Forza because it's generally it's a racing simulator. It's super realistic.
It's Horizon.
It is Horizon,
which is the more arcadey style Forza,
right? With more off-roading.
And they also came out and said that it's a few islands off the coast.
Yeah,
like Australia or something.
Well,
because
the main game takes place in Australia, takes over the whole continent.
Good night, mate, on Australia.
So instead of messing with anything on the continent, they're just like, there's 8 islands that are off the coast of Australia, and that's where
just happen
the
to
Hot
be
Wheels
connected
DLC.
by giant match wheel Hot Wheels car track.
I think it would have been cooler
loops and
is
stuff.
if they like made it in a child's bedroom and you were just actually on the tracks and like.
But I think it's Forza, so they wanted to stick with.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Look how pretty our race cars are.
I mean, you could make a pretty beautiful room with.
That's true. I guess instead of just like oceans and blue skies, there would just be like a ceiling fan and some carpet.
Yeah, make that look really cool. Or maybe you could have done it in the amphitheater of Australia.
Maybe like a little slinky dog underneath the bed.
Well, yeah, we could go Toy Story route if you want to.
Oh.
And the last trailer, which was a game release trailer or game release date trailer, I would say, for Friday the 13th. The game, I think it's been on PC for a little bit. It's been in beta. It's finally coming May 26th. It's a 1 versus 6, so one person's Jason, 6 people are campers. You have a few ways to escape the campgrounds. So you can get like a key and a battery and some gas and fuel up a car and take off that way. You can call cops. It takes them like 5 minutes to show up, so you try to survive that long. When you're Jason, you get certain powers like infrared, not time travel. I got time travel in my head. Like teleportation, I guess.
Yeah, like don't you like teleport in the shadows or something? Like if there's a shadow over there.
I think you could go as long as there wasn't light. I think that's exactly what it is. So it's this type of game like Evolve, which we've talked about, which generally we don't think is successful because you need communication to actually get this done. You need, I don't know, those type of things. They're adding things like upgrades and that you can like work towards, and like clothing options for all the camp characters. And I think there's 7 different like Jason like masks and themes and stuff. So that kind of stuff. I actually think it looks really cool. So hopefully we can get into that. If it's not, I don't know what it's going to be priced at. I'm hoping not $60 because it seems like Evolve should have come out at like $40. I think it would have been a lot better than trying to charge $60 for like 4 maps.
But Evolve also wasn't on the PC. It was
beforehand. It was
a straight brand new game. So I'm thinking this, if it was on PC, it might come out around $39. Hopefully,
$39.99. Yeah.
That's my guess.
I hope so because I think it'd be fun for us to hop into it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's about it. Nobody has. It's probably good that we don't have that much since we're running an hour 34 right now.
Holy bejesus.
Yeah, you're welcome, listener.
Listeners.
We
All right.
you, Payne.
So let's move in to Deals with Gold and Games with Gold with Shopa.
All right, your Games with Gold. This month you have Gianna Sisters Twisted Dreams.
Yep, so it's a new month, new games.
New month, new games. We'll say them, 4 times for you like we always do.
Absolutely.
We've already mentioned The Walking Dead Season 2.
Yep, that's still going on for until the 15th, I think.
I think
then?
so.
Yep.
Yeah. And for the Xbox 360, Force Unleashed 2. I feel like I played a Force Unleashed game.
The original Force Unleashed was
free
Games with Gold like a month or 2 ago. So.
Yeah, was it? I don't think I played it there, but I think I played it like a Force Unleashed when it came out.
The beginning of I played like the opening hour. You start off playing as Darth Vader. I don't know if you remember that. You're just like force choking Wookiees.
Yeah,
on Kashyyyk.
I played a little bit. It was pretty fun. But
that seems cool. And your Deals with Gold, Zenith, 25% off. Mount and Blade Warband, it's coming out 50% off. Shred It, 50% off. Aqua Kitty UDX.
Oh boy.
Looks like a blast. 33% off. Lovers in a Dangerous Space Time.
This was free a few months ago, so hopefully you picked that up then.
Looks really cartoony. 67% off. So Forza Motorsport 6 Platinum Edition, Ultimate and the expansions all together are 60% off. WWE 2K17.
This has been on sale a while. It's just it's 2K's wrestling.
Do WWE games come to the EA Access? Are those?
No, it's not. It's not made by EA.
So 2K.
2K, that's their own thing.
That's their own thing.
It's like they used to do baseball.
Don't play a lot of sports games anymore.
Yeah.
The Witness.
So The Witness, when I saw this, I thought of you because we were at work and you said something about wanting a puzzle game. The Witness is supposed to be it was in a lot of people's like top 5, top 10 just overall games last year, and it's 99% a puzzle game. It's $20 right now. It's normally $40. So if it was something both of you were into for $10, I think I might buy it for $20. So definitely something that I think you should look into because I think you might enjoy it.
I love me some Sudoku. And Prototype 1 and 2.
Both 50%
Both 50% off.
Okay. So, also, because I remembered hearing that the Resident Evil games were on sale. Resident Evil 7 is, and a bunch of them because Capcom is it's a developer sale right now. Or Capcom, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So a bunch of Capcom games are on sale right now. There's also...
Am I going to see the bundle like they had a month or 2 ago where it's like... Oh my
God, where it's so cheap.
Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil 5, 6,
so many games.
1, and 0.
I don't remember seeing that. But then there was also a Spotlight sale going on as well. So just go and look those up. We don't have that in front of us. But yeah, some good deals other than the Deals with Gold isn't stellar, but I think some of the publishing sale and Spotlight sales deals might make up for it and be a little better. But gaming goals. Shopa, how was your gaming goal last week? We didn't get to touch on it. Almost forgot to call you out on it. How was The Walking Dead Season 1?
It was fantastic, Risky. It was amazing. I played all of 0 minutes, and I'm very unproud of that.
All right, so we'll start with you this week. What's your gaming goal?
Well, I'm gonna make it a little easier on myself. I know you guys played like 40 hours of video games.
We got a lot of gaming in this week somehow.
But yeah, I don't know where my time went, to be honest.
Who knows?
To the PC probably. But we're gonna try. I don't play a lot of these games, these open world games. You guys played Shadow of Mordor. I'm gonna try and get. I'm gonna say 5 hours of Witcher 3. Right, that's the one we have.
Yeah,
Waterloo.
That is correct.
I'm gonna go for 5 hours of Witcher 3. I don't play a lot of open world games. I don't play much other than multiplayer games, as you guys know. So we're gonna give it a try. It's one game of the year. People rave about it, so we'll see how it goes.
I might hop in and play a little bit just on
your own.
If time. I can't figure out what to play, I might play some Witcher just so I can talk to you about it, because I haven't played that game in a while. It's so big that it's intimidating a lot of times.
That's what she said.
I have to give him that one.
That was a good one.
I have to give him that one. See, that's
the thing that sucks though is like, if you're a completion, like I try my best to try to avoid some of the side quests in these giant games just because they take up so much time. The side quests in Witcher 3, I haven't run into like one of them that's been bad though. Like they're all very well written and they're all worth diving into, which sucks.
I'm doing this.
It doesn't suck
strictly based off of, because I do hit that point a lot where like say I finish Quantum Break, but I wanted to play something else. That for me right now is then just playing multiplayer and ranked in Overwatch.
Right.
Which I guess isn't a big deal because it's still Overwatch and it's amazing. But if I can get into Witcher and enjoy Witcher to the point where that becomes my Overwatch game when I finish something,
that would be sweet. Yeah, I wish that would happen to me.
I could finish it with
with
free
for
time.
Sure. Yeah,
it would take me a really long time to do it outside of all the other games I'm playing. But I'm hoping that I start liking these types of games more, so that I do spend my time playing them instead of just.
I probably came the least prepared for this. I'll get into The Witcher with you. I'm not going to put an hour count onto it. There has been a few different like DLC and expansion and updates, that kind of stuff that we've talked about in the past couple of weeks that I've wanted to get into and I just haven't yet. Titanfall 2's the new Glitch in the Frontier. I want to check all that stuff out this week.
That's something I can check out with you as well.
Right.
Yeah, Titanfall, great FPS.
The Grand Theft Auto Tiny Racers DLC and the Drop Zone or Land Grab. That mode, I want to check out that stuff. I feel like there was another piece of DLC that we didn't
cover.
That I don't have it written down, but we talked about something.
I think it was just those two, the tiny one and
okay. So I'm gonna try to knock out some of that stuff. I'll also probably continue to play some Watch Dogs, but nothing too big. I just want to look at some of the stuff that we've been talking about in these past episodes. So Waterloo, you last.
I guess my gaming goal would probably be I want to finish the story mode in For Honor. It's something that I really didn't like the story mode that much, but it's just something so I have a little roundabout basis around the characters.
Yeah.
But also I'll be struggling to do that because in 3 days Prey comes out, so that's also going to be taking up a lot of my time.
Yep. So I think
maybe my gaming goal should just be finishing the Viking campaign of the story.
What I was also going to say is that I think Prey would be a good game for a game of the week after Outlast.
I disagree with you on that one. For the simple fact that it's so massive. It's something more of a gaming of the month that we would want to do, or like do a Destiny doing a 2 things, 2 weeks onto it. So, I mean, it's not going to stop me from dabbling in it, no matter.
Oh yeah, definitely not. We'll figure that out later.
But I see you putting that so we have a big.
It's just so we have something to talk about what's current, I guess. But okay, go around the table. Waterloo, where can we find you?
You can find me on Xbox at Waterloo. Also Beam, and if you really, really want to reach out to me, tweet me at _Waterloo.
So if they really, really want to reach out to you, they should locate you at the one place that you never are.
Yeah, because I
can barely remember your Twitter handle.
That doesn't make much sense, but yeah, if you really, really want to reach out to me.
Shopa,
You can find me at OMG at Chopa on Beam, Xbox, Twitter, and YouTube. I got everything to meld into one. And I've been doing a little bit of updating on my Twitter page. None of you will visit my Twitter page, but I do a lot of stuff on my Twitter. I follow a lot of gamers too, so I retweet a bunch of fun stuff. And yeah, how about you, Risky?
Risky the Kid on Beam and Xbox. If you want to reach out to the Xbox Community Cast, you can find us at facebook.com/Xbox Community Cast. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, you can send them to xboxcommunitycast@gmail.com. And with that, everybody, thank you for listening, stopping in, hanging out with us for episode 6 of the Xbox Community Cast.
For all of the hour and 30 plus minutes of this beautiful, beautiful podcast.
If you made it this far, we appreciate you more than you know. But until next time, we'll catch you later.
Bye-bye. See you guys.